Thank you for joining the live stream or for watching the recording. This is again your favorite and most popular Q&As open live stream where you can come and ask your questions about Czech immigration, health insurance, starting a business, all types of visas, residence permits, and accommodation in the Czech Republic, everything and anything. You can ask personal questions as well, but that's usually not that interesting as the visa stuff, for example. So use the time wisely. I'll be here for the next 20 minutes, say, and then I'll finish the live stream. So for those of you who are joining, guys, the chat is open, hopefully, and I'm expecting your questions. So gaming buddy. I'm in UK looking for a job in Czech. Good luck. I guess we don't help with finding jobs, but if you find a job, then we'll be happy to process everything, like the whole application process for visa, employee card, blue card, whatever you choose. But we don't help with finding a job, so that's something we don't do. Evelyn in Czech Republic. Hi, Jan. After submitting the removal of defects, how long does it usually take for a response? Kind of depends on what were the problems, what documents you were to submit, and if you submitted them in time, correct, and complete. And any of these options or scenarios can go in any way. So the simple answer is you never know. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that if you give them everything. Generally, if you give them everything they want, you give it to them in the form they want, you give it to them in the timeline and everything, then the approval should come pretty swiftly. The question is what they requested, why they requested that, and what you give them. So it's difficult to say. It can still take like months before they make the decision or contact you again that some of the documents already expired because they've been taking that long to make the decision. But generally, if you gave them everything, should be relatively swift, but it also depends on where you applied and like for what and what was missing. So sorry, I cannot give you like 7 days or something like that. It's just not how it works. Being Human 96, hello sir, hello human. Hopefully you're a human. Or you might be just an AI pretending to be a human, for what I know. Oishik Chakraborty had one quick query. I have one question. I have my criminal check certificate from Singapore office, but it's apostilled, SP office. What is SP office? But I'm not from the passport office. Will that work? Not sure what you mean exactly, honestly. I have my criminal check certificate from SP office, but it is apostille, but it's not from the passport office. Will that work? Honestly, it depends on where you're from. What do you need it for? I would need to see that and to be able to advise if that's gonna work or not. So if you can elaborate maybe a bit more about that, I'll be happy to elaborate as well. But honestly, hard for me to say now based on what you wrote. Mohammed Imran, bro, thank you. Thank you as well for being here. Gaming buddy, what is the process for job visa? Website for finding jobs in Czech. If you go to my channel, I don't know where you need to click. I say that all the time. I should already probably learn that. But guys, if you can tell me where to click, I'll be happy to show there next time. But if you go to my channel and search for jobs in the Czech Republic or just jobs or something, and I've done a video about the best ways of finding jobs in the Czech Republic, including the links where you can look for jobs and some other tips. So that would definitely be a video to watch if you're interested in that. As for the job visa, that kind of depends. Generally, you first need to find a job and then you need to go through the process, but it depends on what kind of job, if you apply for an employee card or a blue card. So it's a bit more complicated. I would need to know a bit more, but first is definitely finding a job. Without that, you cannot get anything because Czech Republic does not have the standard like job seeker visa where you can come here and look for jobs. Czech Republic only allows this for students who graduated from a Czech university. Then they can stay and seek a job, but we don't have anything like that for those who didn't study. Just insurance, yeah, if it was just insurance missing and you gave them everything they needed, it should be Swift, I think, Evelyn. SWOT, CBD. Hello from Russia. Здравствуйте, как ваши дела, SWOT? У меня все хорошо. Ну, я не смогу по-русски целый livestream сделать. Nah, that was my Russian, guys. Zanul, Abid C, any Czech language school you collaborate with? Yeah, we do work with 2 or 3. So if you get in touch, I'll be happy to send their details. But it also depends on what you need them for. Like if some specific exam or just you want to learn Czech. Ahmed Hassan, I'm in accredited course in Charles University, and I'm going to apply for another course for next year. How many months it will take to renew my visa? Definitely you need to stick to another accredited course, because if you wanted to go from an accredited to non-accredited, that could be a problem. As for extension, I would say that's a standard timeline. If you do it properly, then 60 to 90 days. But you need to be careful when changing schools. That's always a bit more complicated. Peggot. John Statham from Walmart. That's like me or you or who? Anyway. SP office is police station. Generally, you need to get the strongest criminal check you can get. So if the police station is the highest you can get, might be okay. If there is something like a federal criminal check or something that's above that, then you should ideally get that. But it depends on what country you're from and what do you need it for. I wanted to say something funny about the John Statham from Walmart, but I don't know what it was. Willis Juma, I don't know how to pronounce that, man, sorry. How do I know if my course is accredited? Ideally, the school should tell you. They usually do mention it in the program description because it's super important for the visa processes and everything related to that. Like if you can work or you cannot work. If you can get the job seeker residence permit afterwards or not. So usually schools are pretty aware of that and mention it in the course description, or ask someone in the school, like someone competent, not someone you meet in the bathroom, ideally. Oishik Chakraborty, also my police clearance certificate is apostille, but the translated copy which I have is soft copy of it, so will the embassy accept it or not? You need to have originals of everything, so a soft copy will not work. It could potentially work-ish for a residence permit, but if you're applying for a visa, then it should not work at all. Being human, so that's the AI pretending to be a human. I have a doubt. I have visited Thailand in August 24 and UAE in 23. Both in visit visa. Do I need submit PCC from the country? Applying for long-term visa. Appointment is in April. You need to submit generally criminal checks from the country of origin and all the countries where you've lived for more than 6 months in the last 3 years. So if you spent more than 6 months in Thailand or UAE, you need a criminal check from there. If you haven't spent there more than 6 months, you don't need that. Gaming buddy, okay, got it. I have UK masters. Is possible to get job in Czech? Kind of depends. This is a very general question, you know. It depends on what. If it's masters in IT, like you're a software developer or something like that in this like IT field, very likely you will get a job and it will be a pretty well-paid job. If you have masters in building dams, probably you will not get a job because we built like one dam in 700 years. So probably there is not much of work for you here. So it kind of depends on what's the master. If you have UK masters, it doesn't automatically mean everyone will want you. Like that British masters is something super important in the Czech Republic. So it depends on what's your field of business, then it depends also on what's your experience, and if it matches the if it matches the, I don't know the English word. I might need a degree in English from Britain. The demand of Czech companies, that's the word. Vasif Khan, coming on long-term visa for a family reunification and applying for extension or applying for residence permit is possible. Husband works in Czech. Yes, basically that's how it's usually done. You apply for a long-term visa, and then once you're here, you apply for a long-term residence permit. Extension of a long-term visa is technically possible, but only if you didn't get the visa for the full year, because the maximum validity of the visa is China. I've been to China. Anyway, so the extension of the visa is only possible if the visa was not issued for the full year, because the maximum validity of the visa is 1 year. So if you got it for a full year, you cannot extend the visa and you have to switch to a residence permit. If you get the visa for 6 months, for example, you can potentially extend for another 6 months, but then you have to switch to the residence permit anyway. Being human, my long-term visa is for employment. My employer booked an appointment for me in April. And what was the previous question? Yeah, no, that's great. That's great, because if they book the appointment for you, that means that they're part of a governmental program, and that makes it easier. That's good. Vasif Khan, what are the legit reasons to apply for residence permit or long-term once the long-term family reunification visa is expiring? If I want to start the process from within Czech Republic to save time. What do you mean? What is legit reasons? Like you apply for a family reunification based on someone, like a family member living here. So if you come here because your spouse lives here, then you can stay as long as your spouse stays here. So you still need to prove that you are married to your spouse, and then that's fine. Then of course there are other requirements, like you need to have accommodation sorted, you need to your spouse must be making enough money to support you both. There are requirements like that, but as long as your spouse stays here, you can always apply for the residence permit or extension. Owasim Yahuni, I can get accreditation university from the ministry to apply for CZ2. Not sure what you mean. I can get accreditation university from the minister to apply for CZ2. I'm not really sure what you mean. If you could rephrase the question, that would be perfect. Willis Yuma Huma Juma, does the university mention if the course is accredited on the acceptance letter? They should for sure as well, if it is. If it's not, they might not mention it, but if it is, they should mention the code of the accreditation or of the accredited program. So for sure, yes, if it's accredited. Czechs. Should a police clearance certificate be legalized at the embassy like the school certificate at the embassy? What embassy were you from and what the clearance certificate is from, or where the clearance certificate is from? Then I can answer that probably. The Max. Hi, I'm from India. I got Czech work permit from an agent. I'm currently applying for work visa, but I'm getting no response from the embassy of the agent. What should I do? Man. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go again. I talk about this in every single live stream, usually couple times. You've been scammed. You will never get an appointment. Whatever money you paid to the agent, you've lost, and you can try some other country. That's probably what you can do. If you're from India, there is quota for how many people can get an appointment a year, let's say, and the quota is zero, like no one can get an appointment if your employer is not part of the governmental program. If they were, then you would not be the one getting the appointment. Your employer would get it on your behalf-ish. It works a bit differently, but you would not be the one getting the appointment anyway. So if your agent told you that here you go, all the documents, everything is good, now you just need to get the appointment, you're fucked. Sorry, man. Sorry to tell that. Anyway, Ahmed Hassan. I'm in a foundation program in Charles University and I'm applying for medicine in the same university, but I'm afraid because the exams in June and the start of the new year September 1. Do you think I can reach the start end of the new year to renew my visa? Well, you have no other option anyway. If you don't renew your visa, you will need to leave the Czech Republic. So you have to submit the application anyway. If you are missing some of the documents, that's fine, because the ministry will tell you that you need to deliver the missing documents and that you have this amount of time to do that. 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, whatever. That this depends on the decision maker. And then you have that amount of time to deliver it. So you should be fine as long as you can get the missing documents to the ministry in time. Safe haven. If the embassy calls you to pick up the visa for the purpose of collection an employee card, they say to come within 1 month. They say to come with 1 month travel insurance. Will be an issue if you bring 2 months insurance? Definitely not. And I would, if they specifically told you you need just 1 month insurance, okay. But usually you need 2 months insurance, because the visa you will be getting is 60 days visa. And you should be insured during the whole stay here, so before you start working. So we usually do 2 months at least for our clients. So if they told you 1 month is enough, 2 months is definitely safer, no problem with that. But I would do 2 months minimum anyway. Sadiq Amin, how much CGPA required for Czechia? Not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean by CGPA, so if you can specify, please do. The max, just joking, I follow your videos regularly, I'm well aware of this scam, and I know for a fact that countries from Asia and Africa have strict quotas, but I just wanted to see your reaction. Yeah, you messed with me all right. That was good, that was good. The max is the king of the live stream today. You pulled a prank on me. All right. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I'll probably use this in some of my other social media, like for shorts or something. That was good. Thank you. Come on, that was good. So, Osim Yahumi, the Czech University wants from me to give them official university accreditation given by the Ministry of Education in my country. How can I get this type of document? I guess that kind of depends on your country, because there are some rules how you can enroll into Czech university programs. Usually you need to prove that you studied, or that you have, okay, if you want to apply for a bachelor's, you need to show that you've done high school education, and then the education should be provided by an institution, school, that is allowed to do that in the country. So you should not just be homeschooled or like go to your friend's house to get schooled. You should go to like a proper school that is accredited to provide like schooling services in your country. So there should be some database of schools that are allowed to school in your country, and you should get a confirmation of that. So ideally you get in touch with your school to see if they can provide something like that. If not, then contact, say, a Ministry of Education, or if you have equivalent of that in the country, and ask for some confirmation. Usually it's for the university to see that you really studied a school that is allowed to provide schooling services in your country. Being human, some airports have electronic gates, so they don't seal exit in passport, only entry sealed, but departure or arrival sealed in my native airport. So if there is no exit seal, it's gonna cause problem. Probably not. Probably not, because it depends. Like, it's hard to say, because this is just something you write in the chat. I would need to see the visa, I would need to see the passports, I would need to like see the whole story. But if there is no exit stamp and you are now outside of the country, probably you've exited, you know? So you would maybe just need to prove that you had a flight ticket or something to leave the country, but that would need to be someone like really digging into that. And also if they see that it's been only a short-term visa, that might also like prevent you from needing to provide the criminal checks from there. So it's kind of difficult for me to advise if I don't see your passports or the visas, but I don't see it as anything that would not be sortable. Checks. Police clearance from Kenya, do I need to legalize it at as the school certificate? Yes, all the documents from Kenya you want to use in the Czech Republic must be legalized. So I think in Kenya it's the super legalization. So you first get it apostilled like legalized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I believe. I believe it was Kenya where you had to go to some like a railway station or bus station somewhere in the capital and you get it done there. I think one of my our clients said that. And then you have to take it to the embassy and they super legalize it. So it must be done for all the official documents. So marriage certificate, birth certificate, diplomas, criminal check, all these like official documents. Not your bank statement because no one will legalize it anyway, but for like official governmental documents, that yes. Faisal Musa, I only can speak English. Is it possible to migrate? Yes. Most of the foreigners who come here only speak English at that time. They don't speak Czech. Sometimes they speak other language, but not all the time. So that's definitely possible. It just depends on that. Actually, the language you speak is the least important part of the immigration process. You first need to find a reason to be here, and that's the difficult part. So English should be fine. Sadiq Amin, as a middle-class student, can I get part-time job, food delivery job, etc., while studying for masters, and how much it pays for a student? I've done a video about this, about food delivery. I've done videos about different employment options as well, so check those in my channel somewhere. You need to click somewhere, I don't know where. But yes, it depends if you're a proper student or not, if you study an accredited program or not. If you study an accredited program, you can get employed full-time as long as you manage to study as well and pass all your exams and you don't leave the school. Or you can potentially also get a trade license, which might be the more likely way with Wolt and food deliveries. I'm not sure if they employ their couriers. It's more like a B2B cooperation. So you might need to get a trade license and work for them under your trade license, which is also possible. And that's actually possible for both like proper students and not proper students. The accredited and non-accredited employment is only possible for the accredited program students. As for how much it pays, just ask the question under the video I made about food deliveries, and I'm sure people will reply there with their salaries or their income, because that's not a salary if you're a freelancer. The Max, thank you. Thank you as well. It was a good touch. Guys, for those of you who've just joined, the Max pranked me with the most common question I get. And I reacted as I would normally react. So it was good. Ahmed Hassan, to renew my visa, is it exactly 2 to 3 months or something it takes forever? Same like the visa from the embassy. It can take forever as well. The ministry does not really care about any deadlines. For employee card extensions, for example, can be 4 to 6 months easily, because if you're just extending, renewing, you can be here, you can keep doing what you're doing. If you have an employee card, you're extending it, you can stay here, you can work. If you have a student residence permit, you continue studying, or you're extending your student residence permit, you can stay here, you can continue studying. You can get a bridging visa, you can travel. So it's not their priority. So sometimes it's very fast and you can get it approved in 3 weeks. Sometimes it can be 6 months and they still haven't started. So yes, it can take forever as well. The Max, but a serious question now because I'm an Indian living in France with a job search visa valid for 2 years and I would like to work in Czech Republic, as I heard the process in Dresden is simpler. Well, I would not say the process in Dresden is like necessarily simpler. It's definitely simpler to get an appointment there. If you've been living in some other EU country for more than 2 years, then you can apply in Dresden and you definitely can get an appointment there. In India, you cannot get an appointment. So that's the easier part. But then the decision is anyway made in the Czech Republic by the Ministry of the Interior, not the embassy. So the embassy does not have much of influence to that. But it will definitely be possible to get an appointment, and it will be definitely faster to get the response than if you were applying from India. Hagerat Vasoya, is there any chance to get permanent residency in Czechia? Yes, for sure. That's the ultimate goal, the holy grail of most of the foreigners living here long term, so definitely possible, but generally earliest only after 5 years of living here. There are exceptions, but 5 years is the rule. Vasif Khan, thank you a lot, my pleasure. Abdurrahman Yalo, I don't know how to pronounce you, sorry man. How long does it take to get a response from the immigration department in Czech for visa approval or denial? I've done a video about that called The Biggest Lie in Czech Immigration. Please go to my channel and search for The Biggest Lie and you'll find your answer. Pratikir, how's the Czechia policy for having only the first name in my Indian passport? Please answer. The policy is that it's confusing. We've had clients like that. We've had the first that comes in mind is Rachna, who only had this Rachna name, nothing else. So it's definitely possible to get a visa based on that. Sometimes it creates confusion. So I've seen also a guy who, I don't know, like his name was Kumar something. Let's say Kumar Singh, whatever. And in his residence card, it was Kumar Singh. They used like both the names as first name and both the names as second name, because sometimes it's not possible to fit it or fill in some forms without the first name or the second name. So it can create some confusion, but generally it's fine. We've had clients like that with just one name. Ahmed Hassan, can I get in touch with you to prepare all paperwork early and to be sure that it's all correct and when we start to prepare my papers? Of course, just Ahmed, I'm not sure what you will be applying for. Renewal. Yeah, of course, if you're renewing, that's completely fine, and get in touch and we'll be happy to help. Gracias, Leo. Why aren't we getting visa appointments from VFS Delhi? VFS, I have no idea. That's only for short-term visas, and we don't deal with short-term visas. Yeah, that's my answer. Will Yuma, what happens if my university forgets to put accreditation code on my acceptance? Will that affect my visa process? Potentially could, because the ministry does not know if your program is accredited or not, so they might contact the university, or they might contact you to clarify, and that will delay the process. If the course is accredited and you apply for a student visa or student residence permit, that's sortable. It might just get a bit more complicated and take longer time. Bean Human 96, actually it was during UAE visit. They didn't seal exit because of electronic gate. After that, I traveled to Thailand, got both entry and exit seal. Is it gonna cause problem for my check? I don't think so. Again, it would be similar as to what I've just explained to Willis. It can complicate it, it can delay it, but it's definitely sortable. The max, I have already lived in France for 2 years and I have a visa for 2 more years. Also, I hear there is no labor market test required. So how do I convince the employer to obtain the vacancy number? There is the labor market test required, but now the testing period is 0 days. So they still need to post the position. They still need to create the position for you and upload it to the labor office and all that. But you at least don't need to wait the 30 days or 10 days. So potentially it shortens the process. In real life, does not really, because you still need time to get all the other documents required. But it's, I don't want to even say easier, because not easier. You just don't need to wait 30 days. You just wait 0 days, but you still need to do all the steps anyway. So it's a baby step. Bharti Vasoya, identify your self-made. Are you a visa expert or a consultant or agent? Identify myself. I'm a co-owner and co-founder of a company called Move to Prague Relocation Services, which is an immigration and relocation company in the Czech Republic. Hopefully that was identifying enough. Faisal Musa, is it cost of living expensive there? I plan to migrate. I'm from Indonesia. Well, it depends. If you compare with Indonesia, probably not. Probably yes. Probably yes. On the other hand, the salaries should be higher as well. But kind of depends on your job, because I would say if you move to Prague and you want to live like a solid life as a single person, you can live a life, not just survive and like eat the cheapest food and stuff. I would say that your salary should be at least 20, let's say. I would say at least 40 to 50,000 crowns a month net salary, not gross, if you want to have like a solid life, at least from my perspective. Because I know a lot of people who get like 20,000 crowns net or whatever, then they live in their company's accommodation, which is fine if you're coming here to work and you don't really care much about the rest. But if you want to have if you want to live in an apartment, not in like a company accommodation with like 500 people in the same building, if you want to have your own apartment, if you want to go out from time to time, not always cook home, if you want to travel, if you want to save something, I would say at least 40,000-50,000 crowns a month is what you need to live somehow comfortable in Prague, like the minimum. So if you get less, you can do that, and many people do it. I just don't see it as something like you would be too much enjoying the life in Prague. You would just be living here and working to live here. Which might be okay, because that's an experience. You live in a new country, you can build up your life, all that. Just from the cost perspective, or like the income cost balance perspective. Pratikir, how's the Czech Republic's policies for weak visa as blue collar jobs for Indians? There is a quota of how many people can come to the Czech Republic a year. The quota is, I think, 1,000 people, but all the 1,000 people must go through governmental programs. If your employer is not in governmental program, the quota is 0, so you will not come here because you will never get an appointment. I would say that's the policy. 1,000 people out of 1.5 billion, or how many it's now. Client Probi, I have a permanent resident card and I would like to sponsor my sister to come here. She's non-EU. Would it be possible for me to sponsor her? It means it depends on what you mean by sponsoring her. If you want to show your bank account saying she can use the money, potentially it might work, even though it will be pretty long shot, I would say. If you want her to come under family reunification as your family member, that's not possible unless she's completely disabled and dependent on your assistance, which probably she's not. Otherwise, she would not be there. You would not be here. So that's basically not possible. If you just want to provide her money, that's doable. Simple Chris, I'm a Nigerian. What's the best package for me and can you assist? Honestly, the best package would be a different country. I mean, if you want to study in the Czech Republic, you probably have some chances. If you really genuinely want to study some university program in the Czech Republic and it kind of follows your previous education and you've just now finished bachelor, so you'll be finishing this year and you want to come here to study masters, the student visa is a possibility. But if you want to come here for work or for business, that's basically impossible, or at least very, very difficult. So Czech Republic does not really make it easy for you. Gracias, Leo. Why aren't we getting visa appointments from Nepal? That's the same as India, same as Bangladesh, same as Sri Lanka. Everything in that part of the world, there are the quotas, and there is no way around that. I heard Prague is the most beautiful city in Europe. How far do you agree? Depends on your taste, I would say. I've been living in Prague since, I don't know, since when? 2006, I think. 2006, so almost 20 years. And it's still nice. Nah, I don't know where I'm going with that. Honestly, I like Prague. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but I think like if you live here for 20 years, you might want to see something else. If you live in Paris for the first year, it might be the most beautiful city in the world. But then if you've lived there for 20 years, you might want to see something else. So I like Prague. Definitely the architecture is amazing, and different parts of Prague have different feel as well, because they were joined in Prague like later. So they were separate villages and then they joined Prague. So it's definitely nice, interesting. Hard to say if it's the most beautiful city in Europe. That depends on taste. Being human, I've attended 2 lives and you cleared all my doubts. Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. AI. Willis Huma, I'm going to send you an email. Please kindly reply. Will do. Thank you very much. I'll finish, guys, with Chamuki Bazuki. Because it's been 40 minutes almost. I need to do some other stuff as well. I want to do. So, last questions, and I will stop with Chamuki Bazuki. So, Pratikir, what should I mention in visa application form in a surname or last name section when I'm not having the surname, last name in my passport? Nothing. Leave it blank. They will make a copy of your passport anyway, so they will see that there is nothing to write in there. Or you can also like put there, I don't know how it's called, like the dashes. We do it for the parts where that doesn't apply. So like, for example, name of your kids. If you don't have kids, we just put these, or we write there nemám, which means I don't have. I would probably not do it with the surname, because some of the officers at the ministry could write I don't have as your surname. So the easiest will be to just leave it blank, because they will anyway make a copy of your passport and they'll see it there. Faiza Musal, is medical fee expensive there for foreigners? Kind of depends. If you come here to work, to get employed, it's automatically deducted from your salary, and that's not really that high. Social Security is way, way higher, and the benefits are way, way lower. But the healthcare is fine. If you have to buy your medical insurance yourself, that's a different story, because you have to pay everything in advance, and the care is shit. So, yeah. So, last 2 questions. Saman Ahmad. Which health insurance company is valid to get a visa sticker on passport? And the embassy mentioned in the email to have 60 days validity of insurance. So now my question is, do I buy more than 2 months? You need to have 60 days from when you plan on entering the Czech Republic. So if you have a flight ticket for the 1st of March, you can have 2 months from the 1st of March. If you want to be sure, do 3 months, starting say 2 weeks before you plan on leaving, and 2 weeks after the 60 days. So 3 months is fine. 2 months from when you plan on entering the Czech Republic should be technically fine as well. Chamuki Bazuki, where are you going to move? Honestly, I don't know yet. I have some work to do here. So I need to finish that first, or I want to finish that first, and then I'll be thinking about moving. Yes. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for joining today, and I'll see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. See you.